Get on this island.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So they
Just continue.
me? All right,
Yes,
yeah.
we can hear you.
Keeps
Yeah.
freezing up and Seven will kill. Okay. So at any rate, they're on the island. It's Mr. Slater King and Frida and her best friend Jesse. They get on this island and it's 45 minutes of them frolicking. There are some interesting like edits and cuts and stuff where you can tell that there's a discrepancy in memory. We'll cut from one moment to another, and we realize that Frida and Jesse and the girls there being, I guess, like hyper drugged, hyper roofied or something every night, and the guys are doing all kinds of like what? Well, some of them, the way that shot, I can't really tell who was doing what, but yeah, the guys that she's with, Slater and the boys, they're doing some pretty obscene, crazy shit to the girls nightly. And then the film turns into kind of a I spit on your grave revenge trope type of thing.
Right.
The trope itself, I don't really have a problem with, but it's just where the film goes and how it lands in the end. I felt it was kind of... There's an interesting little conversation that they have where there's the message of protecting girls. We have to protect and empower our girls. And by the end of the movie, the ones that aren't dead decide, hey, why don't we just keep Slater King and we'll just, ride all that clout and money that he has. The girlfriend, Jessie, to preface to go from, it's a jumble. We had to start this 2-3 times, people. Sorry. This review's
and we just jumped into it this time, folks, because of technical stuff, but we are live. But the thing that gets me, and I agree with you, I think the first half of the film actually was well done as far as posing questions, what's going on, and slowly unraveling what's going on. I think
the details are fine. You get elements of it. The thing that bothered me about the film, it's not even how it was shot or how it was paced. It's the message. It's the try-hard message that it's again going for. And it's not a new one. It's not original. It's not new. We live in a world full of evil men and innocent women just trying to make their way in the world. I'm like, okay, that's the route that we're going to go. Fine.
Would you?
But, go ahead. But no, it's just by the end of it, because spoiler alert, it's been out for a month.
Right.
Frida, after her girl Jessie gets bit by a snake, Jessie says, "I want to go home. This is bad business."
Right.
And Frida, right, is no, I need this. Can't you just let me chase my white king in peace? So Jessie stays home. Jessie's gone. She dies. And then all hell breaks loose. By the third act, it's not a matter of, all right, I'm going to get revenge and get amends for my friend who died under your watch, Mr. Slater King. It's, let me brainwash you with the same stuff that you were giving us, and I'll marry you. Screw my dead friend. I'm not going to tell people about it, even though there's family that'll probably be looking for it because we went to this island together. Right. We don't know how long we've been here. It's been more than the 2 days that he told us, but we've been here for however long. She's dead. But now I'm married to the guy that did it. Aren't I empowered? Now she's CEO of Slater Inc. or whatever, doing animal nails, because I guess that was her skill set in the movie. What's she CEO of? Slater King Industries with her skill set of animal nails.
Well, let's say this. For anyone that has not seen this movie, even though we're going through it, spoiler alert.
Late now. Yeah, you're in it now.
You're in it now. If you're interested, watch it still. I think seeing the progression, because even watching the trailer, I kind of knew all that the movie was about. There was nothing really kind of hidden. It's just how we get there and where we land. Those are the only two things that were a mystery before watching the film. Again, the editor saved the first half of the film and made it almost appear like a good film for me. The actors they delivered the lines. I think all the actors did.
The actors were fine.
Did what they needed to do. It's just that I think the direction and I mean, Zoe did direct and co-wrote the film, but I have to blame the writing and the direction because there were certain things that just didn't make sense. And if you're gonna set up for like, I have a message. You gotta land on the message.
The message is not you know what the message is? There's
What?
a message. It's just reprehensible. It's just screw over. However, the people that care about you, the Jessies of the world, if you got to step over them to get your Slater King, to get your White King, you do it, ladies. Get the bag. That's the message. And I think it's kind of gross. It's kind of dingy. And if you're the type of chick that advocates that, or type of person that advocates that, you're part of the problem. Right? She's not a good person. The main character, Frida, is a heel by the end of the movie. She chooses clout, money, and the illusion, right? Because she could sleep next to this guy every night, knowing that he did this to these women.
She's just as bad as the oppressor.
She's just as bad. It's not
because she becomes the oppressor.
You are the oppressor. You're the CEO. Somehow, again, the CEO thing does not make sense. You're the CEO of what? Right. You have no business acumen. She's goofing when she's not doing nails. Right. What is her skill set? What do you do as a CEO?
Right. How did that even fly to get to that?
Yeah, how did he even fly that with all the investment people? How does that work? You married him in the year, right? Which looks bad. Again, your friend goes missing on an island. You come back and you marry the dude that did it. Well, if her family or friends find out, you're screwed.
Well, let's go to, there was a character that I thought one of the male characters were beating up and sleeping with him as well. But as time went on, what I realized with the film, it seems that, and again, if we're frozen, you still hear our voices. Sorry about that, but we're gonna keep it moving. What it seemed that maybe he made a stand at some point, and then they.
Oh, are you talking about the little blonde dude?
Right.
He gets killed later. Okay, yeah, he was kind of
interesting. They didn't. I wanted more with him, especially because at some point they made that whole thing of like, oh, well, I didn't do anything. Yeah, but you're part of the problem. You're just there's a special place in hell for people that watch and do nothing. But how could he do anything if he was drugged?
He didn't know. That's the thing. He was apparently, my theory about the little blonde dude was this. He didn't know, but they were drugging him. He was their friend. He was their little homie.
Right.
When everything goes to pot, you hear him say, "Why are they mad at you? You're such nice guys."
Right.
To which lets me go, wait, do you not remember? Because he was somewhere in the throes of it when you see the big, what's the big shocking reveal of what they were doing to them on the island at night, why they were running the forest like idiots. I think I'd have to go back and watch it again, but I have to see the scene where they're running, that panning shot, and they're running through the forest or whatever, or the woods.
Right.
He's there, and he falls on the floor, and one of the guys looks like he's like yelling at him or something.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, he's not in on it, so he doesn't know. He's their little homie that they keep around. They roofie him, and he doesn't remember. He gets shot in the head by the other chick. I think her name was Sarah. The other chick that raids with Frida later. She shoots him in the head. It's not intentional, really, but it's the fact that he's there. And as an audience member, I'm like, okay, the message of that is even if you're not a guy that doesn't do it, because you're a man, you're still somehow.
So he's guilty of association.
To my point is whatever. He didn't know. He didn't realize that's the.
Oh no, meaning guilty. Yeah, he's guilty of association, meaning because he's with them, even though he didn't do it, but he's with them.
Okay, my thing about it is this: it's fair enough then if she goes that route and then kills off the girls because they chose to be there too.
Right.
Which is my big thing that I boiled down on. Okay, yes, we live in a world of evil, powerful, dangerous men. Maybe, ladies, stop being so thirsty and eager to be around these men in isolated places. Just a thought. Just a thought.
Right.
I'm a hater, I know, but maybe don't be so so down bad and thirsty to be around these dudes. The Slater Kings of the earth.
Yeah. Well, what do you think as far as writing wise? Why put in this? The people that don't do anything, they just watch and don't do anything, are just as bad. Like there's a special place in hell for them. But when you didn't even explore that character enough for us to feel some kind of way.
You have to make sense of him in order to feel a thing for the character. Right. Aside from that, he's just one of the goons that was there. Sorry, Dayveonne.
Yeah. Okay, so I haven't seen the movie, but from what you're describing in detail about that particular character, that's the trope for every single guy that's like their friend or someone that's trying to be the nice guy out of the group. So it's like, because you with them, you associate with yourself with them. And 9 times out of 10, they just happen to be there. or sometimes they just like to keep their mouth closed because of whatever benefits they have with those group of guys.
Mhm.
So it's like
The film goes, The film goes a little bit further than that. It covers its bases a bit because there's also the sister. There's Slater King's sister, who's played by, who's the actress? Seven. I'm drawing a blank on her name.
I could look that up. Give me 1 second.
I want to say she was the lady in The Fly originally. She looked that familiar.
Oh yeah. Davis.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis, correct.
Gina Davis. Yeah, she plays the sister, and there's a moment. I'm sorry, David, we completely blew this movie for you. This review is a complete nightmare. But she's there, and by the end of the movie, she's like, I wanted to forget. She was complacent. She was an accomplice. She's like, I wanted to forget. Frida stabs her. The sister says, help me. And then Frida says, I tried, bitch. So again, to your point, Dayveonne, yeah, that's the attitude. It's you're guilty by, if you're a guy and are just somehow oblivious, you're still somehow guilty by association. Fine. But the caveat of that is, guys, don't care. Like, don't be around those people. Don't be around those types of chicks. And when it does fall off, they don't get to blame you for crap. But also, too, ladies, it's an interesting quote that was like, or interesting fact rather, that it was Gina Davis's character, who was the older woman on the island. Notice how she's the one that they kill off because she knew what the score was already. But the younger ones were just innocent and didn't know any better. I say crap on all fronts. They knew what the score was. Let's go bang these rich guys and get some clout and money out of it, because that's what Frida does by the end of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of moral stance or something you were going to walk away with that film, because of how it ends, you just trump all that.
It forfeits any type of moral standing it tries to have with that. If it's a dog-eat-dog world, people are crap, it goes the route of that other movie, The Menu.
Right.
It's just like, hey,
that was a good movie. I like that film.
I kind of enjoyed it. Like the ending it's the same type of movie, really, where it's like the innocent girl walking into a dicey situation, I guess. But it's like the endings are better in The Menu. The ending is better in The Menu. This one, it's just be a nihilist, be on some Machiavellian crap, have no morals, have no scruples. Screw those normie friends that you came in with. They aren't the important ones. It's about getting the bag and getting your white king. Like, all right, movie. Okay, Zoe, we see. I understand you a little more now.
We see your logic.
We see you, Zoe. Yeah, we get it. That's why when you have Michael B. Jordan in a movie, if he's with a white girl or if he's with like a case where it's like an empowerment for the guys, just don't say anything.
Yes.
Well, we sat through him twice. Just.
He's right, because throughout our lives as men, we were told not to date with other races because
I don't want to go there. Let's
just saying in general, like Michael B. Jordan getting threatened to cancel because he's taking a picture with white women versus this whole movie.
Yeah, we can leave it
That's
there.
about, hey, screw it, get you a white king, ladies. It's like, all right, whatever. I see you. But
well, this is a good transition. So, did you guys see the trailer with the new vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan?
Yes, it was simple. It was it wasn't straight to the point. It was simple and mysterious. It was detailed in a way where it wasn't spoiling nothing, but it was intriguing.
I don't know if it was the fact that you said it was Vampire 7 actually clears that up for me, because by the trailer's so ambiguous and mysterious.
Right.
Unless you go in with the mindset of vampires, you kind of don't know what they are. I'm like, are they ghosts? Are they people that are possessed? Is it like on some crazy type of stuff where they're insane?
Well, they've been talking about it for a while, saying he was going to do a vampire movie with Kruger, but the thing that makes it funny is the well anticipated. I liked the trailer. I thought the trailer was good, but don't overhype it. No one's anticipating this. Nobody asked for this. Nobody.
It's not like some hot property that folks have been sitting on for ages, but it looks interesting. Run with just the idea that here's this film. We got a vision. Michael B. Jordan with a Tommy gun, and we got vampires. Check us out.
Yeah, and that's all we need. And guess what? It looks good.
I'm gonna check it. The movie's called Sinners, by the way. I don't know if we better open with that. The movie's called Sinners.
And also
it looks good.
It also looks very indie, low budget. You know what I mean? It looks very basic. Like, okay, it was like a money grab. Like let's do this movie really quick in between and go to the next one. But I do think it's going to be a good movie.
I'm not going to call it a money grab, but the idea is that here's what I think is interesting about it.
Mm-hmm.
As low budget as indie as it seems, it's still a period piece, because I think this is supposed to be like I'm guesstimating here. 1920s,
20s has to be with a Tommy gun.
It's old timey.
Right?
Yeah, I'm like looking at the gun, looking at how they dress, looking at like the type of tech that they had or lack thereof. It seems like it's a period piece that if you can shoot that on a shoestring budget, because period pieces are expensive.
Right.
If you're going to go for fidelity and make it look like the 1920s, 1930s, that costs. You got to make it look authentic. So the fact that if they can cheap out and be like, okay, it's all taking place in this one garage or this one farmhouse. Right. It's around. We have all the props and stuff. We don't need anything else. You can get away with making.
You can get away with it.
100%. Correction, guys.
Yeah.
1940.
1940s. Okay, so same deal. It was still ye old times, but it's interesting how if they can make that work for what little shoestring budget they have, if whatever it is, you have to look up the budget. Right. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. I'm interested too.
So before the show, you guys were saying something. Since we talk about germs and vampires and diseases, since we are also a cultural show, David, you were talking about COVID.
We was talking about COVID and my whole logic behind COVID was because of the icebergs, which had a whole bunch of old time bacterial and flus and diseases that back then was like even the Black Plague. And I'm saying, look, that could have been COVID hitting in here. But Andrew said, no, it came from the Chinese market.
It was, okay, now not to completely crap on your point, it's true. There are ancient bacteria that are in the polar ice caps. And it's so weird that you bring that up, Dayveonne, because that's in something that I'm writing. That's like a little nod to it, because the idea we have ancient diseases that are just sitting there. Right. And as the ice caps melt, access to those diseases, those germs, risk getting out and reinfecting us with whatever new kind of old ancient crap that exists down there.
Right.
No, the COVID thing was, as I've read it and as I've researched, it was because in China, they have open wet markets where basically those people go in, they buy the meat fresh. It's supposed to be fresh, but they keep them in really unhealthy, uncool, not clean environments with all the fecal matter and all the germs. That got out into the populace. Humans, being the non-responsive creatures that we are, didn't jump on it when it went viral. And now it's with us, like, long and short, that we're no aliens, no ancient diseases or pathogens from the deep, just people being stupid.
Yes. And then also we was bringing up the fact that during the pandemic, alcohol, toilet tissue, baby oil.
Don't say baby oil.
Don't say baby oil. No. No.
Baby oil and hand sanitizer were missing while we was all shopping at the food store trying to stock up and things.
You guys know the guy that apparently sold Diddy that was like, he denied it. He tried to deny it. I didn't sell him 1,000 bottles. Anyways, I jumped off the rails.
Yeah, but
yeah, he tried to deny it. Unbelievable. But yeah, that's what that is.
But you want to know what was funny when I went to those food stores and stuff? There was soap.
There was still soap. Yeah, I was able to get soap. Toilet paper was gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There were very dumb things that people held essential. It gave you a real interesting insight into what people prioritize in crisis. Toilet paper makes sense, but if it came down to it, y'all, that's not the priority over water, food, stuff like that.
But they made hand sanitizer and alcohol.
You could get hand sanitizer was you can grab it. Soap, plentiful.
Hand sanitizer was on.
Well, after when it was. We had
alcohol was going, like the alcohol wipe, alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, all that was. But soap.
I can kind of get with that then.
And soap remained the same, still sitting there on the shelves, like, hi.
Soap was fine, yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, okay, why nobody getting soap? Because
Humans, man. That's what you again.
Yeah.
It was an interesting time to see what humans prioritized in a state of crisis.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And there always, I don't know how much times since the pandemic they said, oh, there's a new strain and look out again and this and that. But always the fall is the time. This is the flu season coming up, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But to your point, Dayveonne, we really learned how nasty people were.
Yeah, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, when you had lockdown, there were people still having block parties, and they were all. You guys saw the footage.
Oh, yeah, ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
They were having house parties, no masks. Folks just crowded up, and I'm like, that's why it's with us like the flu now. That's why it's like the common cold now.
Right.
It was when it mattered. No one listened. No one was clean. No one had a mask.
Right.
Now it's with us, like luggage.
Oh my God.
Humanity, I guess. But,
Idiocracy.
Stupidity. Oh man, that's crazy. I don't know. So yes. So what are we looking for? I mean, the year is almost over. Is there anything coming out before the end of this year that we should be excited about?
TV-wise, film-wise?
TV and film.
Joker?
No.
Have fun.
It's a
I'm
musical.
not 100% sure because the thing about it is I did hear rumors that the film didn't do too well in the screenings.
Of course not.
And you want to know why? My theory is, I'm going to tinfoil hat this right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell the Joker story once. The first one I watched, it was it's a one and done. That's kind of the problem. You can't follow that up with, hey, then there's more happened. It's like it makes you wonder too, what stakes are there with the trailer? Because again, we haven't seen it yet, but the trailer kind of just doesn't have anything to say. And the addition of Harley Quinn, she doesn't do anything but just hype him up. She's his hype woman. Right. She doesn't add anything to the plot from what I've seen. She's just there gassing him up, like the imaginary chick from the first one.
The problem was that, from a fan perspective, you didn't stay true to Jack Napier. You didn't stay true to the backstory that we all know.
No, Seven. That's the thing. It's what works with the Joker is that we don't really know what his origin is. He doesn't have a finite one. It's multiple.
Well, that's true. There are I think 2 basic backstories that people tend to hold on to as far as the comics. But the problem is you didn't even stay to any of that. And then you had the director say, this is what really happened. It didn't really happen. While I was kind of tricking you, there was no commitment. Even in creating the film, there was no commitment story of, is this really the Joker or not the Joker? And it's like, even if we watch it, there should be some sort of commitment. Is this all in his mind? Did it really... And we saw the parts that were obvious that were all in his mind, like the imaginary girlfriend, but is he really the Joker or not? Well, this meeting he had with Bruce Wayne, well, what happened? Well, are they really related or not? Give us something. So you left us with all these questions, and I think that if they wrote a part 2 that answered that and kept going from there, it wouldn't be too bad, just because the... Phoenix did such an amazing job. I think we're willing to see him again. But my understanding is this is going in a totally different direction. It's a musical, and we don't want to see that. We saw this great dramatic thing of a villain origin story, and now you're going to give us a musical?
It was the Joker. As a film itself, the first one was an interesting Elseworld story of a possible backstory of a Joker.
Possible. Right. Of a Joker, not the Joker.
It's a Joker. There's a whole multiverse thing. We'll know what the multiverse is.
Right.
In the multiverse, there's a version of the Joker that was like this. He may or may not have been an illegitimate son of Thomas Wayne. All right, fine. Okay. They're going to continue it now with a musical. All right, I'm not a musical guy, but whatever. They're going to continue with a musical, but it doesn't seem like it adds anything to what they'd already established. No. It's just more of Joker being jokery, but now Harley's with him and they're dancing.
And my thing is, I
Right.
prefer. And don't get me wrong, I'm willing to see how Lady Gaga performed in this film and her chemistry with Phoenix. But my issue is, why didn't they utilize the sister Zodi Beats as Harley Quinn? Because that would have been an interesting take.
Well, not really, because they established her as a figment of his imagination. So
And
they
she
can't.
wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't really his girlfriend when he went to her in real life. She was horrified of him. So having her suddenly about face.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really would have doubled down on the whole bedwench angle, Dayveonne, maybe so. Wait,
Yeah.
I actually like the weird psycho guy. Let me be his Harley Quinn, and then that's where the Harley Quinn is.
Yeah,
If
and
you
I was
go that
hoping-
route. Okay,
I was
I
hoping
get
they were going to go that route, but they didn't.
Mm.
But
be cool on that. But yeah, y'all enjoy.
Yeah.
like I said, with these films, I hear stories behind the scenes where they don't look at the source material. They just go by, okay, we look at the cover and we just assume, or go by hearsay, and we just make our own adaptation of the character. No,
I
look
mean,
at the
if that's what you're going for, you can make that work. But there are certain points to where, or if you're going to double down on that and be like, this is strictly just my take on it, you're going to Nolan it, right? You're going to what Nolan did with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you can make it good and make the rules of that world like kind of coincide and stick,
Right.
knock yourself out.
You still got to create rules, and I think the problem with that is, I think they're out to not go to the source material was to do the whole it's in his mind. So now we got to kind of figure out the audience, how much was real and how much was his mind. And you know what? That's fair, and that kind of works. But that's something that's one and done. You don't have a part 2, 3, 4 now.
Lingering on that, it gets old, man. It wears out its welcome after. I'd say like making a Fight Club 2, where we already know it's all in his head, but he's doing more of the same. Would that work?
No.
Not you could maybe, but not really. I don't think.
Not
Like if you did American Psycho,
I don't think there's a story that you can do that you can make that 4, 5, 6, 8 hours.
oh no, just saying like what y'all saying. Like American Psycho should have been a one and done, but they did do sequels
They
after
made sequels
sequels.
of that one, and they were terrible.
And they were terrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, it can't.
Yeah.
Not saying it can't be done, but it's not wanted. We don't want that.
Right.
It depends on the character. If you're going to go that route with the character, make it an original. Don't take a character that's already pre-existing that has source material and nerds following him.
Right.
Make it an original thing, and then you can do whatever you want.
Cool. All right, we're going to end right here. You're hearing our voices. Hopefully you'll see us next episode. We are live. Thank you for watching Geekcaster, and we will continue doing what we do. Thank you.